If you love eating at Chipotle, you're going to love this video because I'm going to show you how you can make the real McCoy at home. And what I mean by that, I'm going to show you the real authentic Mexican flavors and techniques that the chain is based off of. Meanwhile, I'm also going to talk about, Chipotle itself, because I used to work there. I was a grill cook, and there's a lot I learned, and there's a lot I can tell you that it's pretty cool to know. So I'm going to show you how you can do all this at home, and it's real easy, and you're going to learn a lot about not only just Chipotle itself, you're going to learn a lot about real Mexican cooking. Alright, so let's talk about Chipotle a bit. What was really interesting when I was studying for my interview was learning the history of Chipotle. Now, it was founded by Steve Ellis, and he was actually the sous chef for a while for Jeremiah Tower. Now, Jeremiah Tower is a huge name in the culinary world. He was responsible for also the California movement, which Chipotle's food with integrity kind of is based off of. The real heart of Chipotle is the adobo, and that's where it makes Chipotle be a little bit more authentic than you think, because in a Mexican kitchen, an adobo is a seasoning paste that flavors a lot of things, and Chipotle, that's how they build their dishes. The chicken's marinated in adobo, the steaks marinated in adobo, the barbacoa is braised in the adobo, all the beans are flavored with the adobo, and it's it's the big that's what makes Chipotle, because their adobo is made with just pure chipotles. Alright, so here they are, the star of the show. These are Chipotle chilies. Now, in case you don't know this, a Chipotle, all it is a smoked dried jalapeno. And you want to keep an eye out that there are two kinds out there. You have these, which are known as Chipotle Moritas, and then you have your Chipotle Neca. Your Chipotle Necas are yellowish tannish. Now those have a lot of flavor, they're smoky, they're amazing. I use them a lot in dry rubs actually. We're going to toast these and soak them in hot water to make our puree. You want to keep in mind when you toast chilies in a hot skillet that you do it for literally less than 2 minutes. And you want to keep tossing them to make sure that you don't burn them. And you just basically toast them until they're fragrant. All you have to do is pour the boiling water over the chilies. Now be careful when you do this. You also want to make sure they're completely submerged. We're going to cover this with plastic wrap, and we're going to let this sit for about 30 minutes. Hey, so while our chilies are soaking in the hot water, I'm going to go into the next step, and I'm going to show you how to bring out the flavor in the rest of the ingredients of the adobo. Mexican cooking, it's all about toasting, a lot of roasting of ingredients, because that pulls out the flavor, that brings out the natural sweetness of things. So the next ingredient that goes in this adobo will be garlic, and we're going to roast the garlic in a comal, and then we're also going to toast the spices. Alright, so here's my little comal here. I got some my garlic in there, and you can see I got them in the peel still, and because you want that to protect the actual garlic clove from the direct heat. The peel is going to get nice and dark, and the inside is going to get really sweet and soft, and it just takes off the bitter edge of raw garlic has, so it's going to pull out the natural sweetness of it. And after that, I'm going to come in and we're going to toast our spices. Now here I got some cumin seeds, and I got some dry Mexican oregano. Must be dry Mexican oregano, huge difference. It's a whole other flavor profile than your traditional regular oregano. And I'm just going to keep them moving for about 1 to 2 minutes until I start to smell them. And that's it. And you want to work real quick with it because you don't want none of these spices to burn. So you can see it's already coming up. So just keep it moving. Alright guys, so here are my Chipotles. They have fully rehydrated and they're nice and soft. At this point, it's up to you if you want to take the time to pull them apart. They're soft now, they're very tender. You can pull them apart and de-seed them and make them less spicy. I keep them all in there. I really don't, yeah, it's spicy, but it doesn't really bother me as much. In fact, I don't think Chipotle even takes out the seeds themselves because there's still a lot of heat inside that adobo. So I'm just gonna keep them intact like this. However, I will fish out any stems, and from there I'm just gonna put them in my blender, and we're gonna start the the pureeing process. Alright guys, so this is where you gotta get some huevos and try the chili water. It's usually not spicy. It really isn't. I mean, you'll get a, you know, but it's not like scorching hot, you know. So, but I don't know. You know, sometimes it can really burn you. But this is all about good cooking. So here I have some of the chili water. You don't need a lot. Oh man, that's beautiful. Yeah, I'm not throwing away that. I'm using some of that. So I'm gonna reserve some of this water, and then we're gonna puree the adobo and finish it. All right, so let's add our water. I'm gonna start with just right now, and then we're gonna add in our toasted garlic and our spices. You can see how the garlic got a little bit of color on it. They taste amazing. I already made one by itself. It's really sweet. Alright, so my adobo is good to go, and I'm ready to marinate some meat. I'm using the chicken. We're making the chicken from Chipotle today. If you're not aware of this, Chipotle uses the dark meat. Alright, dark meat is a lot more flavor, a lot more moist. It's a lot more tender, it's softer. You know, I love it. And it was my favorite thing to cook when I was at Chipotle because it's the only thing that came fresh. You know, but besides that, you know, when it was cooked right, it came out good, and I let it get crisp, let it just get nice and flavorful. Oh man, and I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. So I'll be making the chicken, and we're using boneless, skinless thighs. If you want to use breast, go ahead, but you know, you're not going to get that Chipotle effect, and it's just not as flavorful. So boneless, skinless thighs is the way to go for any boneless, skinless recipe, especially Mexican cooking and everywhere else in the world. Here is the adobo. I got it nice and smooth out and strained. It's still going to be a little thick, but that's what you want. Alright, so here's the chicken. Nice, well coated and marinated. I know it's a little off-putting because it's not cooked yet, but this is what it looks like. I'm going to add some acid. If I remember, I think the chicken, you know, they added a little bit of vinegar to it. You know, the prep cooks were the one who marinated the meats. You know, I just cooked them. So my acid of choice, however, isn't vinegar. I'm actually going to use some good old dark Mexican beer. Now, my little favorite thing to pair with spicy foods, especially with chicken, marinate some spicy, is I like to add, and it's very traditional in Mexican cooking, is some Coke. Alright, so not too much again. Alright, so here's all the vegetables I'm using for today. And you can see I have my red onion already minced up, and my cilantro again, you know, mise en place, have everything ready, good to go. And here I have my tomatillos that I'm using for my guacamole. Now, look at these tomatillos. They're smaller than your traditional ones, and this is what you want. These are way more flavorful than the traditional bigger ones. These are actually used more often in Mexican cooking than anything, you know, and they look really pretty. I mean, look at the, you know, this purple hue to them. They're incredible. Here I got some jalapeno and a serrano in there. I have my poblano, and here I got my corn. Alright, so here's my chilies roasting, and look how hot this thing gets. These are only been on less than a minute, and we're already getting some blistering. This is what you want. You want a really hot fire. This is all thanks to the chimney, but also the mesquite charcoal. It burns really hot. It's probably the hottest burning charcoal you can get. And man, it smells amazing out here. So my chilies are good. Now it's time for the tomatillos. And the tomatillos are the ones you should be most careful with because these have a lot of moisture in them. So you just want to, you know, keep them moving. Look at that. The way to grill elote is really simple. If the corn's nice and ripe, which it should be, then it's really all about how much color you want on it. So I'm just going to let it get some char. I'm going to keep it churning from time to time, and it's literally going to take about 10 to 12 minutes. Slowly come down, cut off the kernels. Open it up. spread it out. Take out the little stems in here. Alright, so there it is, ready to go. Now it's time to make that guac. Now we just stir in the tomatillo and serrano I smashed up right here. Cumin and some garlic powder, just a little bit, and I'm using garlic powder because if I put raw garlic in here it'd be a little too strong, you know, unless I roasted the garlic like how we did for the adobo. But I'm just going with garlic powder today and my cumin, and that cumin was toasted earlier. We're getting close to doing the chicken, but for now we gotta do the two sides, the white rice and the black beans, just like how we did at Chipotle, only with my own personal twist, and we'll be going in depth on how we did it at both Chipotle and the traditional method in Mexican cooking. So keep watching, it's gonna be pretty neat. Alright, so here's my white rice. Now it's pretty simple to make any rice on the stovetop. It's just 1 part rice, 2 parts water. It's just me today, so that's just 1 cup of rice and 2 cups of water. The only thing we did different at Chipotle is we added bay leaf to the rice. Now that's already a very traditional thing in Mexican cooking. We always put bay leaves in our rice here at the house, and yeah, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this come to a boil. We're gonna cover it and then reduce the heat, and we're gonna let this, you know, cook a bit, and then we're gonna take it off the heat and we're gonna continue to steam it. It's important that you let it steam off heat for quite a bit so the rice comes out nice and moist, and then we're gonna finish it with our cilantro and our lime juice. Alright, so let's finish this rice. I already flipped it up right here. Now it's time to just add some lime juice. You don't need a lot. And some lemon juice. Alright, this is the fresh version of the citrus juice we were using at Chipotle. And then cilantro. Not too much. Just a couple handfuls I'm using here of minced cilantro. And alright, now we're just gonna mix this up. Oh, and also remember to take out, you know, the bay leaf right there. That's the little magic leaf you'd sometimes find at your burritos and burrito bowls at Chipotle, because people didn't take it out. It's alright, I've done that before. Oh man. Alright, so I'm gonna put the camera down and mix this with both my hands, a little difficult with one hand. And now I'm gonna talk to you about these black beans. Unfortunately, I was not able to film myself preparing these beans because, you know, the cooking is a little bit unpredictable when it comes to beans, and, you know, I'm trying to do this on a time crunch. So I'm going to tell you step by step how you prepare them. It's really straightforward. So first off, you rinse your black beans. You know, look through them well, make sure there's no stones, any impurities in there, and just wash them real well. You put them in a pot of water, and then add water to the water level should be about 2 inches above the beans in the pot. And then I halved an onion, and I put both halves on, you know, in the water, and then I have the whole head of garlic, and I put those, you know, in the water as well. And I added 2 fresh bay leaves. You know, you can use, you know, dry of course, but, you know, I like to flavor the fresh better. And then I added a good, you know, couple spoonfuls of the adobo we made, and then I just cooked them down for about maybe 2-3 hours. So that's how you make it. Now it's important that you don't salt the beans before they're done. Alright, don't salt them too early because that will toughen the skins. Some say that that's just a myth, but, you know, I play it safe. I don't want to, you know, ruin my beans. So, you know, always, you know, salt the beans once they're done. Alright, so here I got all my chicken on the grill. It's just the first batch. Now with Chipotle, we only seasoned one side of the chicken because, well, first off, we didn't have time, you know, to season each piece individually. So we did it all on just one side. After all, it will be chopped up, mixed in with other pieces. So it, you know, it tasted well seasoned either way. So all we used was kosher salt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a blend of salt, pepper, garlic, and some onion powder just to add a little bit more flavor. So I'm going to do that right now. And it's important to do this generously because we added no salt until this point. It's been about 6 minutes and you can see I already flipped my chicken. We have a bit of a sticking situation right there. So I told you, you know, it's important that you keep boiling those grates. I think that happened because obviously the adobo is really thick, and that tends to happen when you use thick marinades on the grill. However, here we got some good caramelization, and that just looks amazing. Alright guys, so the chicken's looking about ready to come off the grill. So I'm gonna put them over here in my bowl. Ooh. That one looks amazing. Here's my chicken off the grill, and I'm going to show you a trick that we do in restaurants. Chipotle does it too, and that is known as resting the meat. However, you rest it in a bowl, or you know, in a stainless steel deep pan at the restaurants, and you wrap it tight. You let it rest in here, and usually, you know, this would go in a Cambrio or, you know, a hot box that we call Chipotle, and you know, it's preheated to keep foods warm and ready to go for service. And that's what we're gonna do with this chicken. It's sealed in tight in there, and we're just gonna let it rest. And meanwhile, we're gonna start preparing to, you know, build our tacos or burrito bowls, whatever, you know, we decide to make with this. Alright you guys, so here's an important step. Once your chicken's chopped, always mix it in with the juices. And that's exactly what I did at Chipotle. You know, every little chicken we chopped, it drained tons of juice, and it was important that you just put it all over in all the chicken pieces and you coat them all well. Alright, so here it all is right here, my little DIY Chipotle little bar I got going just for myself. And yeah, let's finally build something. Boom, look at that. I'm hungry. I've been filming this all day. Now, this takes me back. Alright, this takes me back to my lunch breaks at Chipotle. I used to always I used to make a quesadilla. You know, I would tell the line girl to make me a quesadilla with some of the roasted corn salsa, some chicken. And yeah, you know, that was one of the perks of working at Chipotle, is you had a free lunch. So anyway, so thanks for watching. You know, give these recipes a try. Now the purpose of, you know, this video was to show you the actual process of, you know, the Mexican tradition on how, you know, to make the foods of Chipotle, you know, what it's based off of. Alright, so again, if you love eating there, hey, you know, I'm not stopping you. But you know, this is how you make it at home. You know, we're close. Alright, the recipes I'm telling you from Chipotle are what I learned when I was studying for my interview, which is on their website. You know, right there, the nutrition facts. You know, they show all the ingredients that go in their food, and that's the information they give you. Right, so it's open to the public. So that's a little disclaimer. And yeah, so give this a try. And I hope you enjoy my little twist. You know, I do recommend that guac. So anyways, yeah, you know, make yourself a bowl, make yourself a burrito, you know, pile as high as you want, you know, now without worrying about double meat charge or extra guac charge. So yeah, so thanks for watching.